So, Tony, this is the first episode of the Epileptic Chef Productions podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Feeling really good. So, this is the first time I've ever done a podcast in my life. Like the closest I've come to is probably when I was at university and I did, we were doing broadcasting, you know, like radio stuff. And I had I was put up right against the mic. For some reason, my group decided that I should be the one who's the host. Apparently I had the personality for it or something. It just,
I can see that.
Could you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see
that. Yeah. So they were just like, oh yeah, it's you. And, I'm up against this, mic and suddenly, you know, the old on air radio sign?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? That went on.
Yeah.
And like my stomach was just all tied up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And then, so suddenly, as soon as it went on, we were doing like a debate about the BBC license fee. And so as soon as it went on, I just heard myself go, hello, welcome to Blast FM. Today we're discussing the BBC license fee. So, and, it's amazing how you can just have all of these different nerves, all these different sort of butterflies in your stomach, and you open your mouth and it all just comes out perfect in an ideal world, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So how is it for you when you're performing? I mean, you've been on stage, haven't you?
I've been on stage, not a terrible amount, but like, I guess you could say enough. But, it was mainly like at first it was community theatre, and if I remember correctly, I think I've done it maybe like 2 or 3 times on stage. And, it was very much like because I mean, at first it was more of a, let's just play around with it to see see if I can actually do this. Because I hadn't had any formal training or anything prior to that.
You hadn't had any training at all?
Well, I mean, since then I have.
No, I'm so sorry. I mean, you know, before you went on stage, you had 0 training?
None that I can remember, no.
But that must have been terrifying.
Well, yeah. For someone who's like, for someone like me who's got social anxiety disorder, which, I mean, it's been since diagnosed now, but like, at the time I knew there was something up with me. But, and also growing up with a little bit of agoraphobia, like it was obviously going up on stage and performing in front of everyone. It does get to a point where you are, prior to going on that stage, you're going like, oh, like, I think mainly for me, it was just like, what if I mess up in some way? Like, what if I forget my line or anything like that? Because I still have to hold the belief that I'm not that great at improv. So, but then again, I'm not thinking about the others. I'm always just, all eyes are on me at that point. And I'm just thinking, if I mess this up royally, what's going to happen? Like, so, but
what made you decide to just like dive in? I mean, I think unless it was a school play or something, I think that would probably petrify me.
Actually, you know what? I think I had been in a couple of school plays, but again, I don't necessarily count that as such. I don't know. It's just,
no, it's not, because everyone there is an amateur actor.
Yeah. So it's like there's kind of like there's no real competing.
Yeah. You can mess up and mum and dad will still love you at the end of it.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Everyone's still clapping like, hey, you did a good job.
Very well.
You fell off the stage for 5 minutes.
For a tree, you were very tree-like.
Oh, I was method. It came to that. Stuff.
Oh no, that's brilliant. But yeah, I mean, I remember we were doing year 3. We were doing the nativity play.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really wanted to be Joseph because I had a crush on the girl playing Mary, and I became one of the wise men. Dude, I didn't even have a line. Do you know what I mean? They chose some guy called Prick Pal. Literally, no, that is his name.
That's his last name, is it? Oh.
No, that's his first name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Prick Pal, like.
Oh, so it was a choice by the parents. Oh,
yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that they didn't know English at the time. I mean, like, it's like, hey, pal, you're such a prick, eh? But, you know, hopefully we don't upset anyone by saying that, but, you know, oh well.
If you are listening to this, we apologize.
Prick Pal, I'm so sorry. Do you know what? And if you do hear this, man, reach out. I've been trying to find you on Facebook. You're not there. Maybe change his name.
I mean, you can legally do that. So
yeah, you can, right? Yeah, okay. Probably got fed up with the jokes. Anyway, so let's go back. So you've done what, community theatre?
Yeah.
You've done community theatre, and from there, where do you go? I mean, like you have is it fair to say autism? Is that what you have, or ASD, or neurodivergent? What's the buzzword that we use now?
I mean, from the beginning, it was basically on the spectrum, like autism, which I feel like I'm probably more on the milder side of things, because I have encountered other people with autism, and there are points where like they do certain things, and I'm kind of like, oh, I must be milder. It's like,
well, I mean, there are some people that are non-verbal. I mean, that's insane. I don't know how those people live from day to day. It must be so hard. But on the same breath, you know, I've known you for quite some time, and the anxiety is absolutely real, isn't it? You know, like a lot of people, I've suffered with anxiety. A lot of people who don't suffer with anxiety, they think, well, you know, just get over it. But
exactly.
But you can't.
I've heard that more times than I care to admit.
I mean, it almost feels physical. Yeah. Almost.
Because it's mostly psychological, but mind and body, like, not many people like will admit to this, but it's like mind and body are pretty much linked. Like, so anything that's happening within your mind, whether it's stress or anxiety or depression or anything like that, you feel it in your body. Like, so I guess it's almost as if it's your entire being's way of, like, if you don't realize it from the mind, so to speak, then we'll show you another way. Like, it's kind of like, if you, like, just in case you didn't see it the first time. So, and it's tough, the whole anxiety thing, because it's like, because you are constantly battling with your inner self. Like, you're like, I guess you could say your body and your personality is saying, I want to do this, I want to go, but it's your mind is like holding you back. It's like whatever's going on with your mind, whether it's like chemical imbalance when it comes to depression or similar things when it comes to anxiety. Like, just it is a constant uphill battle, like, every day. Like, just even for me, sometimes just walking out the front door can be a challenge.
For me too, as well. I suffer with that. I have a little bit of agoraphobia. It's almost like taking 2 steps forward but taking 5 steps backwards. You know, it's one of those sort of things, and it is really, really, really hard. But having all of this, and I think I'm probably right to say that, you know, when we talk about anxiety and things like that, you've probably suffered with it for a lot longer than what I have, probably.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I've only known you for, like, the last, like, I mean, it's coming, I think.
Yeah.
I want to say, yeah. I was about to say.
It feels like a lifetime, though, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It feels like I've just always been here.
I know, exactly.
God, what was your life like without me? Peaceful, I bet.
Honestly, I'd like to, like, say as a nice way, train wreck. But
thank you. Compliment received.
But it took a lot of, basically, even though I still kind of somewhat knock myself back by saying I'm only doing stuff that other people would have done, but I've constantly heard this from people. They've said, like, but for you, like, quote unquote me, like, for you, this is a big deal because of what you've had to
out
go
of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
As well.
But because it's possible, because, like, I'm not used to, I guess, like, thinking about myself. If you get what I mean? Like, I'm not really used to putting myself first.
Do you mean you're not, like, used to putting yourself under the microscope and sort of self-analyzing? Is that what you mean?
I mean, yes and no, I guess, because I like to think that I'm always self-aware of whatever I'm doing. I'm always thinking, like, but although I've kind of contradicted myself by saying that. But what I mean is, like, I guess a better way to say it is I'm constantly comparing myself to others. So when I see other people doing stuff that is such a minute detail, like they're able to do it, and then I try and do it, and it's like, to me, it's like climbing a mountain.
See, I was very much like that until I think it was something Jordan Peterson had said. Is it Patterson or Peterson?
I think it's Peterson.
Is it Peterson?
I believe so, but I could be wrong.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, anyway, he can just send me an angry tweet later. It's fine. He said only to compare yourself to who you were yesterday, and that's what I've been trying to do going forward, just to compare who I was yesterday, because I definitely still probably suffer from that as well, but I try and keep that goal. Anyway, the point that I was trying to make, before you went off on your speech.
I know, I do that a lot.
No, it's fine. Okay, so again, you're at community theatre. How do you get from Tony, who's got agoraphobia, who's on the spectrum, how do you get from there and saying, do you know what, acting is for me and I'm going to get some training? Because, there's stereotypical things out there about people with autism. Like, for example, people may say, well, how can he portray emotions if he can't necessarily understand it, if he doesn't know this person's angry, if he doesn't know that person is angry? Which is, you and I both know, it's a load of rubbish, because you can study and do research, and you can look at the human condition and you can emulate that, can't you? You can, but in your own words though, what makes you think, okay, I'm going to go off, get some training, and I'm going to dedicate myself to this? I mean, how do you go from that person with agoraphobia on the autistic spectrum to that person?
Well, I mean, basically similar to what you just said just a few minutes ago.
Are you accusing me of repeating myself, good sir? Is that what you're saying?
No,
is that what you're saying? Am I like a parrot now? Oh.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. Basically, to your point of like, you study other people's emotions, and like you study how, quote unquote, real people react. That is, I think, that is essentially what I've kind of done. In some ways intentional, other times it's been like inadvertent on my part, because I've always been someone who's been sat in the background, more or less observing, not really like, because I mean I'd probably be a lot better at it now, but like when I was a kid, I was always the kid in the background who didn't really talk much to anyone. Like, I was just in my own little world, as they say in the autistic space. They like to say, in his own little world.
In his little bubble.
Exactly. And I feel like my experience from that, and just, I guess, as well as like just sitting around like watching TV or like movies, stuff like that, like I've kind of almost, it is kind of like almost like monkey see, monkey do type of thing. Like you watch it and you're kind of like, oh, this is how someone reacts. This is how
actors.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just mainly been that, but even more so now, because obviously this is the profession I've chosen, and I've just thought like, okay, I'm going to do as much as I can in order to portray this as much as possible, like to make it believable and realistic.
Do you think that maybe the autism ASD, do you think perhaps that can sometimes be a strength when it comes to acting?
I think it possibly could be, because I mean, I have read and heard from people about autism. It's like there's a certain repetition that goes on, and there's a certain, like, we have a routine, as it were. We're I guess you could say like creatures of habit, to use the old cliche, like basically. And I think through that, it's been, I guess, easier to kind of navigate through it, because it's you're given a script, you're given like a premise, and you're reading through it, you're looking through it, and you are kept kind of in a routine that way, and just like studying different emotions, just looking at others, seeing how they emote as well. because and this is something that I've only just really grasped about acting, but a lot of the time with acting, a lot of it isn't always about what you're told to do.
Yeah.
There's more or less like it's about your own interpretation.
Yeah, it is,
you give out your own interpretation, and if for whatever reason it's not what the director's particularly looking for, they will tweak it. They'll say, "Oh, can you do it in this way?" So.
Yeah. So what will happen is that the director, if the director's worth a grain of salt, is at first try and understand your point of view.
Yeah.
Try and understand your interpretation. And then bring you back to the source material and work within that frame. And then I think really from there it becomes almost like a collaboration, or it should be, I think, in my personal opinion. And so what you're saying is absolutely right. But of course, the director is there to make sure that your interpretation fits the rest of the story.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, what I like to think of myself as, when I direct, I like to think that I'm not really directing the actors, because, like you've probably acted a lot more than what I've ever acted, which means you know things that I don't know. So I try to direct the movie. So if something's not working in a scene, I'll discuss why and what the story entails, and then we sort of move on from there. So yeah, I do agree with you. Your own interpretation is incredibly important, because it also brings something to the table, something to discuss, something to make the project even more interesting.
Yeah. And see, that's something that I've only really just grasped, because for the longest time I don't know why I thought this, but for some reason I always thought of it as like, there's only one set way of doing it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's possibly why in my earlier days of shooting like self-tapes or audition tapes, and I do it, and the one particular take I could do, it could be completely fine, but then I look at it and it doesn't match what I have in my head.
Sure.
And I'm kind of like, no, that's terrible. Do it again.
Well, do you know, I was hanging out with my friend Mark. We were having a cup of coffee. And he's been on some really big sets. Like he was in Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox.
Nice.
Yeah, he's in Boy Meets World. Like a lot of stuff. For me, it's very impressive.
Yeah, of course.
If you spoke to him, be like, oh no. Very humble guy. But he said something to me. He said, Ryan, the script could be perfect. The actors could be amazing. The crew could be fantastic, but when it gets on screen, it's just a complete mess and no one knows why.
Yeah. Like, so it's kind of basically...
the way you saw it, and then the way it is, it's just completely different. That's you looked at me to say, okay, Ryan, how is that connected? So I'm just explaining it.
No, I totally get it.
No, because I actually forgot my point halfway through.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. Like, it's basically just...
What are we talking about again?
no matter how perfect you have it in your head.
Yeah.
And which, even using the word perfect, is kind of like, it's just neither here nor there really a lot of the time. But just,
I like to think perfection doesn't really exist.
Exactly. It's taken me a very long time to figure that out. Let's just put it that way. But it's just, I guess that's part of the journey, really.
It is part of the journey, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you and I met roughly, about a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
And it was for the Essex Boys tapes, right?
Yes.
So how did you feel? Because when you were first attached, you had some lovely scenes. And it was titled Essex Boys Forever, if you remember rightly.
Yeah.
And then I phone you and I'm like, Tony, the DOP wants more time to do this, that and the other, blah, blah. And I've said to the DOP, I think his name is Peter, isn't it? I was like, you're going to hate me. Why, Ryan? I'm going to do it lost and found. How did you feel when I said to you, like, so Tony, the script is going out the window?
I mean, I was intrigued, but at the same time, I was also kind of like, because I have done a bit of improvisation before, but I still feel like I'm at the stage where I'm not the best at it. But then again, that could just be my own sensibilities going, no, it's not great. But whereas someone else might look at it and go, no, you did brilliant. So, but it was kind of a shocker a little bit, but at the same time, I think part of me, because we eventually did like rename it to the Essex Boys tapes, and it was kind of like it kind of fits with the found footage genre because obviously tapes, found footage, like
sure,
and also the way that you would describe it as well is it seemed like that kind of take hadn't been done yet. So I mean, for all I know, it has been done, but I have yet to see it. So.
No, it hasn't been done.
So exactly. So again, that made me think, okay, so this is going to stand out from the rest of it.
Well, I mean, going into the project, what I really wanted to do was I wanted to make something different. That's why I decided to do the project, because everyone was obviously, and I was expecting like, oh my God, seriously, another Essex Boys movie. And what I noticed was while watching them, you know, the further along you went, the more unrealistic they got, and the more it was like, I don't think anyone knows what really happened. And what to me, they almost seemed like caricatures. And what I wanted to do was just ground it in reality. So I kind of, I kind of thought like, you know the Batman movies.
Yes.
And I thought about like how campy they got towards the end, and Christopher Nolan came back with Batman Begins, and it was really grounded and things like that. I thought, okay, great. That's something I definitely want to explore. And then I started looking at Darren Aronofsky because he's a personal hero of mine. And I thought, okay, so how do I sort of turn this into like a sort of, do you know that movie, Requiem for a Dream?
I know of it. I haven't seen it yet.
Right. Well, Essex Boys Forever was supposed to be, you know, paying a homage to that. And the only thing is I was running, to be honest with you, I was running out of time. I was having epileptic seizures, so I couldn't work. So I had no budget. And I was like, my DOP was willing to work for free, bless him. And a lot of the cast members needed to be paid. Bless you, you worked for free, didn't you? You did.
I know.
And so I thought Lost and Found.
I'm still waiting for my check, by the way.
Yeah, you and me both, just so you know. You and me both. Take it up with the distributors. So, what was I saying? So, but I did take the project on to see if I could do something different. It was supposed to be all arty fartsy. You know, there was supposed to be a lot of violence, a lot of blood, lots of nudity and things like that. And it was all supposed to be shot like Requiem for a Dream, to the point where I was trying to set up like, I painted my wall white. I was going to do a projection shot of like a prison cell and have other people in prison as silhouettes. Yeah. And paint PVC pipes and put like a fake sort of jail cell there. Yeah. Much like they did in Requiem for a Dream. I have no idea if that's exactly how they did it, but that was the effect that I was going to go for, and I was going to speed up the silhouettes. Yeah. I've got a feeling I've said that wrong. Shadows. And have like Pat Tate just holding on to the bars while that was happening. I wanted to do like a lot of arty, farty sort of stuff like that, because I think it's just interesting. I just think it's fascinating, and it is a visual medium, and to make it look interestingly visual, to me, that's something maybe the other films didn't get right. I think the best film was probably Rise of the Foot Soldier. Yeah, I think it was. I think that was a great film. So once I'd watched that, because I hadn't seen it up to this point. When I'm doing all this planning, I hadn't seen it. And then I watched that and I was like, wow, they've kind of said it all, you know, like, they've said it all. And then I thought to myself, but still, I want to come out with something different. I want to try and do something different. I mean, people say to me, look, man, you made a really rubbish film. I could sort of be like, well, okay, fine. It wasn't rubbish for me. It was artistically fulfilling. And making it a Lost and Found, for me, was a way to make those characters feel real. Yeah. I mean, because the funny thing is, they were real, right? Yeah. But I to this point, I now see them as characters. I was like, what can I change? What can I make different? Just to grasp onto the humanity side of them. Because I do think that there was more to them than drug dealing and killings and murders and things like that. And I wanted to also look at the journey of that. Like, how do you get from like a normal bloke, well, not bloke, but like a young man, like someone who's like 12 years old, how do they go through school? How do they leave? How do they get involved in that? Is it because they've come from poverty? Is it because they've not? And then I realized, for it to be real, I can only write about what I know. And in the 1990s, you know, I was brought up by a single mum in a tower block.
Yeah.
So I kind of decided to take them to that. I know that in real life, they were living in big houses and things like that. But in order to make them feel real to me, I kind of had to fictionalize it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I did do a lot of talking around to people who ran into their circles, or I tried to at least. Like some of them wouldn't talk to me, or not without for like, I don't know, like $5,000. It's amazing. So I never felt like I was getting told the truth, like who they really were, what they really did. I think there was one person who said to me that Tony Tucker was the sort of person, if you spoke to me, he'd be extremely nice, very giving, very loving. Yeah. You don't see that in the movies.
Because it's all focused on like just basically who they were as, like, if you want to call it professionals, like in what they're doing, like the criminal lives.
Criminals, yeah.
Whereas like you said here, you were focusing more on their human side, who they are as a person.
Yeah.
Which is comparable to, say, The Sopranos.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, another thing that we did do, which I don't really think it's incredibly fair to his memory. I didn't think about it when we were filming. I didn't think that it's more something that once I watched it back, and it was already distributed as well, I was like, ooh. I made, within the group, there needed to be a villain, and I made Tony the villain. Yeah. So he was the guy sort of like manipulating everyone, and he was the villain within that group. And then I thought to myself, man, you know what? He's got a daughter. And I was like, was that really the right thing to do? Because I saw them so much in my fictionalized little world that part had never dawned on me. And I know it sounds horrible. It is horrible. And so I think that's probably the one massive regret I have. What I should have done was I should have included another Essex boy who was just completely fictional. That's what I think I should have done. And that does actually haunt me a bit today. You know, I've got regrets over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anything that I said about Pat Tate, as far as I know, was quite accurate. Yeah. But funny enough, I've been told in real life he didn't really swear that much. Which is funny. Apparently he was like really nice, really polite, really... Obviously, when he was on the gear losing his temper, that's a different story.
Of course, yeah. But as him without any type of, like, you know, chemical influence or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was something that was in the script, but it didn't make the tapes, which was a story where Pat actually, he accidentally pissed himself. He was having a piss, and it sort of splashed upwards or something. And I really wanted to include it in the film. I can't say names, but it was a person who was actually there when he had done it. And he himself was laughing over it himself. Do you know what I mean? He just came out like, oh, you boys laugh. I'm flipping pissed myself, man. I can't believe it. Like, he was wearing these tracksuits. He's like, oh my God, it just like splashed up. And he had like the most biggest sense of humor about it. And so someone who can have a laugh at pissing themselves can't be all bad, surely. I mean, I do understand that, you know, what he did was bad. I understand that. But there must have been like another side there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your scenes got cut dramatically though, didn't they?
I know. Which, I mean, I was still in it to a degree.
I was there, right. I'm behind him there, you know.
Blink and you'll miss me type thing.
Oh, but you did have a surprise cameo, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. That was pretty good.
Yeah, what was it? No, I don't want to blow you off, Mr. Tate, or something like that. You played the security guard at the beginning of the film.
Yeah. and that wasn't even really supposed to happen. I wasn't even meant to be like a cameo. That was because like I can't remember who it was, but like you said, like someone couldn't make it or something.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah. But like, yeah, that was. I mean, that was kind of funny because I thought like, oh, okay, I'm kind of pulling double duty a little bit, even though one of them, like, you wouldn't know it's me unless someone told you. But it was still kind of like, oh, I get a second job now.
I remember we were in this old bank, and it was a vault, wasn't it? And they were turning it into a storage place. Yeah. And Tony, not the Tony Tucker, obviously. Tony, not you.
No.
You know, the other Tony.
There's multiple Tonys apparently.
There are. The other Tony managed to get us in to film a quick scene, so it looked like a prison. And I'd just done the lighting. Everyone was complaining about the lighting. I was like, what? Why? I was like, look, you can't see Tony's face here. You can't see his face in the script. We want it. And they're like, no, do it. I was like, okay, fine. Do you know what? I'll do it, right? And they were like, do you know what? I think Ryan was right. I was like, yes, of course I was right. You know, after 2 years at college, 3 years at university, I think I know where to put the effing light. You know what I mean?
Don't tell the professional how to do their job. It's like, I can't.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I was going on about my qualifications, but I'd done media studies theory. I haven't got a clue. I still don't have a clue. Do you know what I mean? I just Google it on my phone. Where's the light go? No, I learned by watching other people. I think sometimes that's the best way to learn.
I think a lot of people do that. Like, it's not just you. I think like a lot of people do that. So it's not really, it's not something to be ashamed of. To be like, I do it from a YouTube video. I mean, because like I said,
is that how you learned how to act? Is it?
Yeah, exactly.
On YouTube.
I mean, I'm not gonna make any fake stories about this. Yes, I learned.
Did you really?
I learned through watching others do, basically, others acting or whatever.
So what? You watched other people on YouTube, and you're like, oh, that's how to do it. Like,
I mean, to a degree. I mean, like, but
have you ever read on method acting?
I have read a couple of pages of this book on Stanislavski.
An actor prepares.
I think it literally was the book that you suggested. Yeah.
I didn't suggest. Yeah, did I suggest an actor's prep?
Yeah.
The best one to read, in my opinion, is on method acting.
But I have looked up other people's methods as well. Like there's Stella Adler's one of them.
Meisner technique.
Yeah, Meisner. That's it.
Shouldn't you know more about this stuff than me?
My memory's a little bit terrible.
To be fair, I started off as an actor. You're all right.
Yeah. I have looked up other techniques, but it's just, I think it is about just what you, as a performer, are comfortable with. Like you can't really. So or sometimes I look at things and I kind of go, "Oh, I like the way this person describes this," or like, you know, this person does it this way. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Let's try that. So it's kind of, I think, what I feel in the moment and while I'm preparing, but also I'm kind of cherry picking from different people.
Sure.
So it's almost like I'm Dr. Frankenstein. Like I'm picking different parts,
different
methods, and going, yes, this is my creation.
That's fantastic. Okay. So where did you actually learn? Didn't you have like one-to-one tutor or something?
I did, yes. And you're gonna laugh at where the venue where this was, if you could even call it that.
Was it CAF or what?
Like,
should we see what you guess?
Basically, I just went from encouragement from
the smile is prepared already, man. I'm getting ready to laugh. There's going to be a huge letdown if like it was at a church hall, you know. Like,
no, you are going to laugh.
Okay. I'm prepared. I'm getting ready.
After suggestion from a friend of mine's support worker, like, so I was asking them about where should I go with this? Like, what do you think I should do? Like, and they said, just go for it. Just do whatever is making you happy. You should just pursue that, whichever way it turns out. Just like do it. You know? And I thought, okay, so how do I pursue this without going to continuing with, like, say, theatre? Like, let's see what I can do. I've heard about one-to-one training, so I thought, okay, let's get an acting coach. So I Googled it, and then like a couple of them said no. And then
why did they say no?
I don't know. I think probably because I wasn't experienced enough, or maybe they had their schedule didn't allow it.
Okay.
But but then this one lady had took me on, and she had studied acting, and I managed to get a BA out of it, which is pretty good. So I thought she's more qualified than I straight away.
Sure.
So I went with it, and then it was through this company called Bright Young Things, basically, which
sounds like an escort service, doesn't it?
And also hilarious because I was 33 at like 32 at the time, so I thought I'm nowhere near being like, because I just think Bright Young Things. I'm kind of like, this sounds like this is for like a teen or something. Like, so
Tony, when am I going to laugh?
It's coming.
It's coming. Okay, that's a motorbike outside. I hope I can edit that out.
So like the venue, so to speak, was in the back room of a Sainsbury's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm laughing.
And it was it was within walking distance of where I live, which was brilliant. So I thought, I don't have to go all the way down to London. But like, I thought,
bloody hell.
So because I was looking for it and I was
Sainsbury's,
and I saw it on the maps, and I thought, this can't be right. What's going on there?
Oh my god.
And then as I was
sorry for the cough.
That's fine.
Oh my god. Let me get over it first.
I know.
A Sainsbury's.
I know.
Was it like while you're there acting, was there someone like stocking the shelves or anything like that, or doing inventory, or moving one of those forklift machines? Like,
the door for the place was open enough that people could, in theory, hear me acting, hear me quoting Shakespeare and everything.
So you're shouting out like, "You're gonna live, Rose. You're not gonna die here on the Titanic. You're gonna live. You're gonna be in an old lady in a bed." And so I was like, "Sorry, where's the smart suit?" Do you know what I mean?
Like I can only imagine what people out there were thinking.
I just imagine, right, that the back room is right next to the self-checkout, and there's like this old granny just listening, saying, "I haven't heard Macbeth since I was a schoolgirl."
It definitely, literally was near like the checkouts. Like, honestly, like,
can we get a Shakespearean quote from you? What do you think?
Oh, the only thing I can quote is it's the easiest one of all.
Go on.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
You call that acting? Let's check this out. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that will summon thee to heaven or to hell. Yeah, I'm better than you.
It was sarcasm on my part. Don't worry.
Oh,
okay,
fine.
But
whatever, Mr. Sainsbury's, you know. So, what do you put on like training, like drama school, Sainsbury's?
I made sure to.
I'm trying to think of their like their slogan, you know, like Mum's been to Iceland, every penny helps. I don't think they have one, do they? Like Sainsbury's,
making life taste better or something. I can't remember.
Something like that. Okay, so it should be like Sainsbury's. We make Anthony Hopkins. Okay, I just went. Blah, 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 blah. You get it. We make actors. Yeah. Actors are us.
Making life more fruitful. You hear some nutcase in the back room.
Yeah, doing blooming Shakespeare. To be or not to be? That is the question.
It's like they had me doing like exercises where like you pick a word and you just like through different emotions do it in a specific way. So like
so what would it be like this? Fruit Loop.
Yeah, exactly that kind of thing. Like they had me
Fruit Loop.
Like they said,
I'm acting here, man. Do you mind?
sorry. Like they had me like they asked me, okay, like what's your favorite color? Mine happens to be blue. It's just very calming.
Mine's purple. You know, the color of the Joker's suit.
Nice.
I can cut the boo bit out.
And then they said, okay, so you've picked blue. Now I want you to say that word as if you're angry at me. And I thought, okay, this is different. This is going to be violent. And every time they gave me these scenarios, I thought...
Sorry, before you carry on, can I ask you something? Because it's kind of eating away at me.
Yeah.
You know your coach? Did she work at Sainsbury's?
No. But she just happened to work in that particular... The Bright Young Things quarters of it, I guess. It was like a little back room there.
Okay.
They have their little back room and everything. Like,
oh, right. I see. So it's the same sort of building and it's like sort of joined.
It's like they have an Argos attached to them as well. So
yeah, I get you. Okay. All right. Got ya.
So it was kind of...
So you were saying about blue, about saying angrily. Sorry, carry on.
So basically, yeah, she said, what's your favourite colour? I said blue.
Let down. I wish she did work at Sainsbury's. Would have made the story so much better.
I did actually run into her while I was doing my Sainsbury's shopping one time. No joke. That's not even a joke either.
I believe you. See, I want to ask you if she's hot, but if she's not, she might check this out and then she'll know she's not. And then if she is, then she's going to know that you think, oh fuck, is she hot?
She's pretty, I think. She's seeing someone, so...
yeah, it doesn't matter. It's still a compliment.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not asking if you want to go ask her out.
She's a wonderful girl. She taught me and everything.
Oh, she's a wonderful girl. I mean, she's ugly. Okay, move on.
No, she is not.
Hot from afar.
No.
Am I putting you on the spot here, be honest?
Yes, you are. You put me on the spot the second we started this.
Oh, you like it. You'd love to be humiliated. That's your thing. Okay, so anyway, let's retry this again. So, angry colour.
Yes. So,
Angry Colour Productions.
So,
Stop gazing into my eyes. I mean, it's so distracting. Just tell the damn story.
So yeah, they told me to pick favourite colour, blue. Say it as if I'm irritated at you.
Come on then.
Blue.
Well, blue you too.
Well, blue you right back, sir. And
well, blue you again.
Yeah, but it's not
blue you.
But it's not on. But not on top of that with the blue. But it's just like you just say the word blue.
Blue.
And you got to convey it, or whatever word. It could be banana for all we care. Like,
okay.
Or you could say it in a very sensual tone, like.
My nipples just went hard.
Very nice. There you go. See, I am talented, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry.
Yeah, just not in acting.
You've enjoyed it. So yeah, I did that for, I think it was a good 8 months or so.
Okay.
I think it was from
a good 8 months in the back of Sainsbury's.
Yes. Yeah. That's a funny quote.
It is. Right?
Taken out of context, it sounds so
very fruity. Yeah, tastes alive.
Okay. And I believe it was around March was when I hired her, and then because apparently her contract had run out with the company, so we had to drop it around October-ish.
So she dumped you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, I was heartbroken.
I can imagine.
I walked away.
I heard that she's hot from afar. I get it.
I walked away kicking the ground, going, I hope it wasn't me. What did I do?
I can change.
And so it also, like, it led into me doing a bit of scare acting as well in October.
Okay, so
it was fun as well. Because again, not the best at improv, but yet I'm doing something that requires a little bit of improv.
And you're constantly out of your comfort zone as well, so you can only but grow, right?
Exactly.
So for those who don't know, scare acting, is that like when you're on a tour and you scare the people there? What is scare acting?
Well, I mean, there's different tiers to it.
Okay.
With it, so I mean, at the place that I happen to be working with, and it's likely with this anywhere, whether you go to Scare Fest or Fright Fest, I can't remember what it's called now.
Fright Fest is a film festival, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably Scare Fest or something.
Okay.
Or Shocktober, that's it. Shocktober is one of them. There's what's it called? London Dungeons, one of them. But the one I happened to be working at was a place called the London Bridge Experience.
Yeah, I've had a few friends there. Yeah. Yeah. I think Rob was on that.
Was he really? Oh, nice.
No, I don't know for sure. I think he was.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I can see him doing that because I think he would have been one of the characters that they were.
Yeah, he's done. He was also on a Ghost Train thing as well. Yeah.
Because I was more or less just I mean, you could probably say they're extras, but I was more or less just a person hiding in the shadows.
And they're called essays now, darling.
Yes.
Do you know what I did? Is it supporting artists that they're known as? Is that it?
I think so, because if you're, I don't know, trying to be more nicer to the phrase, I don't know.
You did more of a thespian, darling. Yeah. I prefer extras, really.
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
Because I mean, that is what they are, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
It's like saying they're leftovers, you know.
Exactly.
It's very self-indulgent, like Harry's memoir, Spare.
Yeah. Which I'm not knocking anyone who does extra work. I'd be doing it tomorrow if I could get it. So
I could get you extra work.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
I get you extra work. I know a guy.
Which I mean, it's extra pocket money. I get it straight away. Yeah. So
well, see, you're belittling it now, like pocket money. It's a career, good sir.
And that you get to meet a lot of great
yeah, it gets to be interesting, it's fascinating, especially.
And you get to grow as an actor because, again, like I said, improvisation. You're doing that kind of thing, and you're learning.
Yeah, but I mean, with the extras, because I am going to call them extras. You know, they bring a lot to the table. I mean, half of them double as production assistants because they're so like, oh, I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you. They're not your classic actors like. I did not do 4 years at drama school to carry your stuff, good sir. When is lunch?
Yeah,
you know?
That's like...
yeah, no, I love my essays.
I get annoyed just standing around doing nothing. So if anything, even if I was a high-end actor, I would be going, do you want me to help carry this?
But do you know what? Sorry. Essays get treated horribly. I remember, I am going to say the name of it because it's part of the experience. They can kill me and send me horrible messages or something. I don't know. I enjoyed my time on this film, Capsule, back in 2014. Lovely crew. But there was something that I was told to do, which was to not let the essays eat until the main cast had. And I literally had to stand there and tell people, sorry, but you can't eat. And they were starving. They were there working for free. The main cast is being paid. And that is one example of how they get treated like rubbish. And I just think that's awful. And one of them said, I said to her, look, it's not my fault. If you want, just turn around, go home and don't film. I wouldn't blame you. I'm not going to try and stop you because I think that's awful. So they do get treated quite rough, I think. I really think. Probably not on the higher productions. I'm talking like British independent film. Yeah. Can I legally say the name of that film? I just did. So like now I'm worried. I'm like, I might beep it out. I go, beep.
I mean, I think you could probably get away with it, but if you want to be like, be safe with it, like you said, just go beep. Just do the old blank and then just or could do little hints here and there so that people can make their own minds up.
It was the one with Edmund Kingsley in it.
Throw a little Morse code out there.
Yeah, no, I'll probably beep it out later just in case. Yeah. Sod it. No, just keep it. What are they going to do? Seriously. I'm not lying. Like, it was the truth. What are they going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I'm very cross with you, Ryan. Very cross. How dare you tell a story that actually happened? How dare you? You're going to infect our sales.
Then they can tell us how many sales they had.
Yeah, they tell us how to do it. We don't know. Jeez. We don't know. But I believe that everyone should be treated with respect. It didn't happen. Yeah. It didn't happen. There's been other places. I mean, even the wardrobe department, man, she left so angry. She snatched. I don't know what happened. I haven't got a clue. I was like, bye. She's like, bye, Ryan. But she was trying to keep her tone because she knew it wasn't my fault. But like, I didn't take it to heart. Don't get me wrong. I thought, oh, bless her.
I mean, I can see these kinds of things happen.
They do. They happen so much.
Because I mean, it's I hate to put it like this, but it's like, it very much is the truth. It's kind of like it's a cutthroat industry, so it's very like and even though I hate to say like rankings, but it very much is a ranking thing.
It is,
but it's not. But I mean, I hate to say it, but it is very much like that, and I'd rather it not be like that.
But the way the industry is going, though, I think that's all going to change eventually because Hollywood is losing its grip on its audience. At least I think so. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
I think so as well. Definitely.
Yeah, because I think these streaming platforms have a lot more to offer, and you can just distribute somewhere.
And I think because nowadays, more people, as far as I know, more than ever, are more interested in independent film.
Well, I mean, the fascinating thing is, it used to be, okay, we need to make the film for the marketplace. Now it's like, we need to find the people for the film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of shifting the way that we look at the film industry. And it gives people like you and I a sort of like a voice, because I'm an art house filmmaker deep down. If you do a search on me, all these, for some reason, I'm known for all these gritty things. But London Stories was a multicultural drama film. Chasing Borders was a multicultural drama film. Sacrifice was my first commercial film. And what did I do after that? Kill Room, which was a thriller. Yeah. But somehow that's all. You do one gangster film and you're just known for that.
Yeah. And especially if that's what got you noticed. And
especially if you do the Essex voice tapes afterwards, Yeah. So I suppose that I kind of like had that coming. And so I forgot my point. Must not have been that important. But bleeding in from that, we're now doing another film, which is again a crime film. I mean, what am I doing to myself? Really, I'm not doing myself any favors here, am I? Which is the Hooligan Tapes. We start that next month, don't we? I mean, I'm looking forward to that. What do you think?
I think based on the amount of research I have done, like I've watched if anyone hasn't seen this, I do recommend this, The Firm with Gary Oldman.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a very good movie, and I can see why it's considered one of his finest performances. That's what you're hearing.
There's so many themes going on in that as well. Exactly. There's actual layers to it as well.
And also because, I mean, what someone would probably say, like, I've already done research by just watching a film based on it. But in my head, I thought, you'll encounter these kinds of people wherever you go.
Yeah, sure.
Because even in like, as I'm about to say, like these, as I spent time watching a documentary on YouTube about it as before, and they said what I'm about to say right now is that these people that engage in this hobby, for lack of a better term, a lot of them are very much just like you and me.
Yeah.
They're just regular people. Like some of them are doctors, some of them are teachers, some of them
9 to 5, blue collar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is just something that they happen to do to get, whether it's aggression out, whether it's something that just it gives them a rush of adrenaline, that kind of thing.
Do you know what I've always wondered? If it's trauma based, like
I do believe some of it comes from based on what I had seen in the documentary.
So like if they were hurt or abused as a child, they could be looking for an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Something where they don't have to deal with that or confront it or something like that. And then they all kind of get together and egg each other on. And I think through that, they probably give birth, like from younger people watching it, a sort of culture. And then those people want to impress, and they get in, and before you know it, you've almost got like a little cult going on.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm saying that from afar because I'm not part of it at all. I've got a few friends who are hooligans. And, you know, and a lot of them have opened up to me, and they've got similar backstories to what I just said. So, I mean, I think with some of it could be a range of things, couldn't it? I mean, I don't think ideally that a person is really going to just go out and cause violence for absolutely no reason. There has to be some sort of thing behind it. I don't think it's really over football. I just can't. No. I can't see it. But then
it's a very extreme form of like tribalism.
It is. I mean,
I can't.
You and I grew up on. Sorry, Tony. You and I grew up on professional wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Now, who's your favorite wrestler?
The Undertaker. Okay,
mine is Triple H, right? Now, I'm not going to get my friends and beat you and your friends up because we like Triple H and you like The Undertaker. It's not going to happen, is it? There's no such thing as wrestling hooliganism. No. I couldn't even say the word. But why with football? I just... Maybe I'm the wrong person to make this movie because I actually don't understand that.
Well, I mean, there's a curiosity there. Because I'm... Even though... I mean, anyone who's listening to this who does particularly engage in this, you're probably going to be slightly offended by what I'm about to say. But like, in my opinion, it's not. I kind of look at it and I kind of go,
"Be careful, Tony. They could probably beat you up."
I know, I look at this and I kind of just go, "This is kind of, isn't this a bit stupid? Like silly? Why are you doing this?" Like,
I think most people would say that, wouldn't they?
Although, I mean, but then when watching the documentary and seeing the backgrounds of all these different people, part of me was kind of understanding it, yet also still kind of being like, I understand it, but I wouldn't particularly partake in it because it's not really my thing.
Well, I mean, I think it's safe to talk about this. One of the main characters in the film has autism, funny enough, right? Yeah. And he's a young kid, and he's the kid who's actually recording it and taking all this stuff in. And he's the one essentially trying to understand the lifestyle. Yeah. And he's got to make a moral decision which way he wants to go without telling too much of the story before we filmed it. But I think it's an interesting choice to do that because through the main character, we're trying to figure out the answers to our questions, like why, what makes another person want to do that. And I also watched a documentary, I don't know if it was the same one you watched, where they were like, oh, we're not hurting anyone other than the ones who want to be in it, but there must be people who get caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, because I'm just assuming this, but I don't know if it's actually true. But I mean, because you hear about all these different these football riots that go on in stadiums and stuff, and I'm kind of like, is that within the mix of hooliganism? I don't know, or is that just a regular football or soccer than that? Because I'm kind of thinking that's where someone who's totally innocent is just enjoying the game, they would be caught in the crossfire.
They would be, yeah.
But
also probably kids as well.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason why the police have to wait around.
Exactly, yeah. but from what I've seen anyway, and what I saw in the documentary, and and especially in films that you'll see, like The Firm or Football Factory or Green Street, a lot of them take place, it seems like, in an alleyway somewhere. Like, it's not always necessarily by the stadium.
No, it's usually planned, and I suppose that's so they don't get people caught in the crossfire. But I mean, if they're at the game and one person says one wrong thing to the other person, it's going to blow up, because you've got that. I hate the phrase toxic masculinity, but you've got that sort of toxic masculinity going on, and then something's going to erupt, and you never know who's caught in between the crossfire. You don't really know. I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong. It could be. I've never been a part of that life, so maybe I'm wrong.
It's kind of like I don't know, probably not exactly the same thing. Well, likely isn't the same thing, but it's kind of like, I guess, like if say a mosh pit at a metal rock concert got out of hand. It's kind of similar to that. Like, you've got the people that do like to engage in the mosh pit, like bouncing off each other and stuff. But like, there was one concert I remember going to, and it got to the point where it wasn't just one section of the crowd turned into one. It felt like the entire friggin' thing turned into one. And luckily, I didn't get pulled into it. But it's just like,
you know.
But it did feel like it did feel like if I make one false step, I could get dragged into this.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, so, I get it.
It had that kind of aura to it. The crowd, like, everyone was getting rowdy, and I was getting rowdy. My favorite band were playing. So it's like...
But then I was watching a documentary in the Arab Spring years ago, and it's I think she was Arabic, but she was very westernized. She was like, this is what it's all about, the Arab Spring, and she's protesting and she's loving it, and all of a sudden you just see her running and going for the like into her car. It wasn't a limousine. I thought it was a limousine, but it wasn't. She's like sitting in the car, I think, all shooken up, and she's like, I can't believe, like, a few moments ago I was just yelling out, like, with the Arab Spring. You sort of become part of the mob, don't you? You sort of, it's mob mentality, and then all of a sudden you realise what you're doing. You're like, oh God, I've got to run away from tear gas.
Yeah, exactly. So I think like, because it is like, I think it's somewhat of a bonding experience for some of these people that partake in it, because that was something that was brought up in the documentary I'd watched.
Yeah,
like they were saying, like, it's about a group of friends. We're all getting together and we're all, like, you know, having a laugh, like beating people up. So. And I mean, it sounds ridiculous out loud to say, but I can sort of see it from the bonding perspective.
Okay, so you know that's a hooligan. Do you want to talk a bit about your character? I don't mind. You know,
we can do,
yeah. So I mean, you're gonna be. I mean, it's obvious from the beginning, so it's no spoiler, is it? So you play an undercover police officer. You dirty rat.
I know.
You dirty rat. You stole pigeon.
Guilty.
Oh my God! How could you? So how do you feel about playing an undercover police officer? Because I always thought you and I would do a film where you play an undercover police officer, kind of like The Departed.
Yeah.
So
it is interesting. It's very intriguing, especially in this type of story.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, you don't really hear about stories like that within this area, so to speak.
Although there have been a few films, and there was something on the bill like in the 80s as well. Well, yeah, the 80s was a long time ago, wasn't it, to be fair?
I haven't seen it, so I don't.
Okay, fair enough. Nah, me and the missus were watching it from episode 1. Bill's fantastic. It's brilliant.
I mean, I'm aware of the bill. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's good.
I haven't seen that, but it's good.
It's good. Very good. But I mean, is it weird though, because you were all set for your next film role to be Ronnie and Reg, weren't you? The Craze.
Yeah.
So is it weird now where you're like, oh, okay, I've got to get out of that mindset and now work as an undercover cop who's posing as a criminal? Or do you just keep the criminal mentality all throughout?
I think in my head, I'm kind of like Ronnie and Reggie are still in the back burner in my mind. Like, I'm still kind of like, I do have many like instances in the day where I find myself kind of like like kind of thinking about, oh, how does he tilt his head? Like, I do still have moments like that, so it's not fully gone or anything. I'm still thinking about it.
But it's good because we're going straight into it afterwards.
I know, Gotta keep myself on balance. And so it's kind of like I guess in my head I'm kind of doing, here's the phrase again, double duty, that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Because I mean, this particular role with the undercover police officer was like, it was very much out of the blue.
Yes.
Because it just came. And I think because like at this point I should be used to your style by now, because it's like, because you Ryan tend to come up with ideas almost daily.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I gave you an idea like 5 minutes before you knocked on my door.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, like, as I was on my way over it, like, he gave me a script, like not a script, but like a treatment for a like sci-fi sort of social commentary type of film. Which I'm also intrigued with, by the way.
Yeah, we'll have a chat with that after the podcast. It's not ready to be spoken about, but literally had that idea just before you came round. Just quickly typed it up. Did I send you the Christmas one?
I don't believe you have.
I'm doing a Christmas one.
I mean, you
might not be in it. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm doing a Christmas one, but obviously it won't be for this Christmas. Be for next Christmas.
So is it like a treatment or is it a script?
No, it's a treatment at the moment, but partly a script.
Well, you give me the treatment. I'll have a look at it anyway. Even if I'm not in it, I would still like to read your brand of Christmas. Like,
oh my god. Really?
Yeah, of course.
Really? I don't know who you're going to play, but you are in the Peter Pan film that we're doing. I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah.
I really am looking forward to that one. That's going to be great.
And it'll be a change of pace as well, because it's more family friendly.
Yeah, well, I also want to do Son of 007. I'm working on that as well.
See what I mean when I said that Ryan comes up with stories and everything, like, daily? You see what I mean now? Like,
I mean, I think it's fantastic. I'd love to do some kids content, get away from all of this, like, thrillers and stuff like that, just because I think it's interesting. I mean, I'm even doing a faith-based film as well, because I see like sort of Christian films, whatever type films, I see that as a genre on its own. And I just think that film in general is interesting, and I want to tackle every genre that I can.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is good, because it shows, like, if you can pull them off, then it shows versatility. And therefore, like, down the line, like, if someone sees it, they'll give you work, and they'll be able to go, oh, he can do this style, he can do that style, he can do this.
Yeah.
So it's good to be versatile.
Well, I mean, another thing that I'm looking forward to doing is going off to Hull and doing the dojo. If you remember rightly, the dojo was supposed to be our first TV series, and I was just really struggling writing. If you read the script, I really thought it was bad, the scripts that I'd written. Do you remember the scripts?
I think
trailing back from all the scripts that I've sent you. Yeah.
Was it more of a treatment, or was it an actual script?
No, they were actual scripts.
Oh, okay.
Because we also approached, is it St. Austin John or John St. Austin? John St. Austin.
Yeah.
The Red Ranger. We approached him to be in it, but sadly he turned us down. But he was like, "Oh, but show me afterwards, I'd be very excited to see it," which is great. But now it's sort of turned from this TV show to a feature film.
Yeah. And
it's going to be interesting going out of London and working with actors from Hull, and then sort of getting a complete different feel, almost like Michael Caine in Get Carter. When you see like Newcastle, it's so different from anything else he's done. It's sort of like that. So I'm looking at like the movie Rocky. Yeah. I'm looking at the way they shot that, and then I'm looking at the way they shot The Wrestler, and I'm just trying to sort of merge it together. So loads and loads and loads of projects. And how is that for you as an actor to suddenly go from like just doing small things to working with a production company and now having all these roles sort of coming at you?
I'd say it's, I mean, as a performer, it's good because it means I've got plenty of things to sink my teeth into, because it's like, because previous to meeting up with you, it was more or less I would do one project and then like I'll be doing that for it's either maybe a day player thing, or maybe I'm like supporting character for like one day or something.
Yeah.
Or it's for multiple days or something, and then after it's done, it's kind of like, okay, I'm doing like nothing with it until the next thing comes up. But since working with you and seeing how you work, to me it's like, okay, I'm only going to get better as an actor because I'm constantly looking up different different films to research for, and like different like characters I'm looking into.
Also, I try to throw a specific challenge at you in order to heighten your acting. So like with the Craze, for example, I was like, okay, it's going to be hard for me to edit and shoot, but I'll work out a plan. You're going to play both brothers. Yeah. So you have to, essentially get used to looking at a tennis ball and acting with a tennis ball instead of say with another actor.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
I mean, it will definitely be awkward because I've never had to act like that before.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, it's like it'll only make me better as a performer because then, because having that under my belt, I'll be able to. I won't have to worry about it if it happens later.
Yeah.
So I can just go, oh, I've done that.
Yeah.
I'll find my own particular style in which I do it. Because I mean, being an autistic actor, even though I did say I see myself as more on the milder spectrum of things. Something I've noticed and other people have actually noticed this about me is that I tend to kind of somewhat subtly find my own way of doing something. Like there's a set way of doing it, but then and someone actually said this to me once. He said you were told to do a specific thing, you did it, but you still did it within your own kind of way.
Yeah,
you still did it brilliantly. You got the job done, but it wasn't in the typical way.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And I mean, part of me was kind of like, so basically I did it wrong. That's what you're telling me. But
no, you didn't do it wrong. In chef work, what they say is, look, I don't care if you find your own way of doing it, as long as the end result is the same.
Exactly.
So it's kind of the same thing, really. Do you know what I mean? But it's annoying when people try to break that. For example, I like to put on a chopping board. I like to put elastic bands around the edge, and it doesn't move. Other people they want a tea towel there, and what some people do is they come across to my section, take off the like my superiors, take off the elastic band, and then make me put a tea towel under there. I'm like, well, I want a tea towel for other things. Like, well, we've got loads. I'm like, yeah, but this is my set. I work with elastic bands. Do you know what I mean? Like, let me have my elastic bands. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the end result.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's just, that's something that I've noticed about myself. So
all of a sudden, I miss a kitchen. All of a sudden, Carry on.
So yeah, that's something that happened very vividly in my mind. I remember a lot. Like someone said, I think I was sanding down, or I might have been putting polish or something on my mum's staircase.
Right.
And the guy that we knew at the time, he was helping us out with it because he was a former labourer.
Okay.
So he was saying about how to do it and everything. Excuse me. And he basically came out with that when I'd finished it. I did it correctly, but I did it in my own way. I kind of just drifted off into my own style. And he pretty much, that's how he said that I did it. You were told to do it a specific way, but you ended up doing it your own way anyway.
But it didn't matter though, right?
I know, exactly. It ended up the same result.
Well, why even say anything?
It's kind of it's just funny the way you said it.
Well, I told you to do it, but hey, it's like your love life. If you want to make love to a man, none of my business.
So I think it's just that's what it would end up being eventually. I think the more I keep on going with performing, like you said, performing with a test, like I'm playing Ronnie, and you say, okay, that's Reggie.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, it wouldn't really be like that. I wouldn't expect you to switch like that. Like, you'd need to,
of course,
maybe I'll let you have a cup of coffee first.
Because I mean, even now, as I'm sitting here recording this, and I've been doing this for the last, like, let's say, like a week or so.
That's a long time I've been recording a podcast.
But like,
was that a genuine laugh or a pity laugh?
No, it was a genuine. Like I was thinking, like, in my head, I'm constantly thinking, okay, so I got to differentiate Ronnie from Reggie. So I am also looking at a specific interview that they did in, I think it was 1966 or something, like it was.
Is that the one where he's like, it's a lot of money when one is innocent? Yeah.
And I'm just paying attention to how Ronnie talks and in the way that Reggie talks. And
also how they react to each other as well. That's important.
And despite being pretty much, like, being, was it identical twins or something, or just twins?
Well, no, they're identical twins, but you can tell them apart.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, not just by how they look, but also their, like, just their demeanor and how they speak and how they, like, walk and everything. So that was something I know. Like, every time I look at it, I'm kind of going, okay, Reggie says, like, he has a similar voice, but it's somewhat,
I think, more masculine.
It's not as high pitched as Ronnie.
Yeah.
Okay,
this is Ronnie. Would you go get me some biscuits, please? Yeah, that's from Dave Corney. Told me that, so blame him. But no, he was soft spoken though. Anyone would tell you he was a soft spoken guy. But I kind of think that makes him even more scarier. Excuse me. I think that kind of makes him more scarier.
Of course, because I mean it's kind of like it's like a unassuming type thing.
Yeah,
because it's a way to catch you off guard. You think, like, automatically, this person, he seems a bit too sort of like too closed off. Like he's not loud or anything like that. But that's how they would get you. It's kind of like the full sense of security, where you go, oh, he's soft spoken, but then like all it takes is a snap, and then it's like bang. Before you know it, he's got his hand. But yeah, like they both sound very differently from each other. So that's something I'm constantly looking at. Is that one? It's not even that long either. It's not even 5 minutes long. It's like maybe like 2 minutes long. So I'm constantly looking at that. I'm thinking.
But you managed to get a lot from it.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's not, even though there's not much to it, there's a ton. Like it says 1,000 words basically, just with that one little clip, and you kind of you understand how they both act and how they talk. So I'm painting a picture in my own head of like how do I kind of like mimic this, try and make it as realistic as possible. Because I want even though it's like from the credits it's going to be obvious that it's me playing both, but I want the audience to second guess. I want the audience to think those are two different people.
Maybe we should make up a fake name for you.
Like I literally want people to go that those are two real twin brothers. They're not. It's not one guy. I want people to second guess.
Well, we're gonna have to start shooting so I can practice all the editing and stuff. Maybe we should do that next week.
Can do. I'm game when you are.
Yeah, definitely. So should we end up on murderous intentions? Like you've seen in that was funny how your scene came about. Should I describe it or do you want to describe it?
You can describe it. You got the doc.
Okay, so we were originally doing a scene for American Vampire in London, which you have currently wrapped on.
Yes.
And you came to give a hand, right?
Yeah.
And then this actress messages us, like, just as we're about to film, saying, okay, I've arrived here, but my boyfriend doesn't think it's safe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay? Which, don't get me wrong, I do actually understand, but I would have provided her with references from other actresses and things like that had it not been last minute. And then so she's driven all the way back to Brighton. We won't say her name, we'll respect. Basically, I said to her, look, if you don't feel safe, you shouldn't come in. You shouldn't, go home. I'm not going to force you to come in. I do understand where you're coming from because she would just come to a house location. But I was like, if you're going to film, you have to film in houses. You have to film in like warehouses. Like you need a place to film. And that's just that, I would have also have let her boyfriend come on set with her had they told me, I got her like a week beforehand. So had there been any sort of suspicion or anything like that, I would have just said, look, just bring your boyfriend. As long as he's not going to come with a chip on his shoulder or anything like that, he can see you're safe. And you guys can go home together. Excellent, right? But no, so she went all the way back to Brighton, which was a waste for everyone. It really was. And so we were sat around, me, you, and Nat, wasn't it? Yeah. And we just set up all this police tape trying to make it look nothing like a crime scene, did it? I mean, if we're being honest, it might have been a good thing that she didn't show up. Yeah. And so we took that down, and then we done a scene. We just made it up where you were a psychologist.
I think we were literally just like, because we didn't want it to be a waste of a day. No. Because we figured we haven't come nearly as far away as she had, but at the same time we're here now. We need
the camera's set up. I've charged it.
Let's just do something.
Let's do something
that we can't. Surely there's something we can figure out.
And so Nat and I had been doing another film called Murderous Intentions, which is close to completion. And then we decided to do a scene, didn't we? Because it was all improv anyway. And you played a psychologist. I mean, you did that wonderfully, didn't you? I mean, like, considering you didn't know what you were going to do, you didn't know that you were going to be a psychologist, and we just ran with it.
Well, I had a good director. So.
Who? What? Listen, man, you got roles. You don't have to suck up, okay?
But seriously, I had a crew with me that was able to just roll with the punches. Which is a good thing in this industry. It's like you do. So I mean, excuse my language, but on set things are going to fuck up.
They are going to fuck up. They do, and they will, and it happens. But if you've got the right team behind you, the right people, it really does make a difference. Yeah, it makes a wonderful difference.
Yeah. So we pretty much just conjured up a little scene and just figured okay, let's just I don't even know how we even came up to he's visiting a psychologist.
Well, yeah, obviously it was my idea.
Well, of course, yeah, I know.
I'm the writer. That's the film though that's going to be going to Cannes. I'm excited about that. Nice. I'm excited. So we're holding off on distribution on it. Yeah. We're going to take it to Cannes, and we're all going down there. So, you need to start saving your pennies up. That's going to be exciting. I've never been to Cannes, and, that's always been on the bucket list to go to Cannes. That and Sundance. Yeah. But we might be in Sundance with the Essex boys. We don't know yet.
I actually did have the opportunity to go to Cannes earlier this year.
Did you really?
Yes. With, because I'm doing this, I'm doing a membership with, what is it called? I think it's called the Lift Off Network or something with Pinewood Studios.
Okay.
And
look at you, Pinewood Studios.
I know, I'm big leagues now.
Yeah. Just need an agent now. He needs representation, people.
Know, please sign me, please. What it was, and this was actually a trial run for them anyway, because apparently the most they would do in Cannes would for Liftoff they'd have the people that represent Liftoff Network, like Cannes, let's say, and Pinewood, so it'd be the person who runs the Liftoff Network, and it'd be maybe, I guess, just writers and directors would go there. But this one was a trial run because they've only just recently also opened up Liftoff Network to actors as well. So they thought, let's do a trial run and have actors go to Cannes as well to see how it goes. And I mean, lucky for me, if it happened in the future, lucky for me, I would be able to go. But because they said and they even said in group chats and stuff, they said be on your best behaviors because this is a trial run. If they don't like us, then it's
there's curtains.
So yeah, that was going on, and then down the line, apparently an actor had to drop out of the Cannes Film Festival get together for, I can't remember what it was, but it was, I guess maybe work had like gone up with them or something. They said they couldn't go through with it, so a seat had been opened up, and then a friend of mine who does the Pinewood Studios thing as well, she turned to me and said, do you happen to have the money to go to Cannes and get a hotel there?
And no, I don't. That would have been my reply.
Exactly. So she said, like,
see, at least I give you a massive heads up. You got 8 months.
I know, exactly. So it was much more longer than hers was. So, but I get it, circumstances and everything. But like,
no, wait, is the festival in May, or is that when the deadline? No, deadline opens in March, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the festival is in May, so we've got to get Murderous Intentions finished by March.
Because I had signed up to the Liftoff Network. I think it was around February. I think was when, because I signed up to it via Mandy, because they had offered. I think it was either I reached out to them or they reached out to me, but someone reached out to someone. Like, I had the opportunity to go there on like in September or something, like last year, or it might have been August. But like, because projects kept on coming up, so I wasn't able to go along with it. But because
you sound so busy, you're so in demand, aren't you? And all the scripts read Ryan Claffey.
I like to think I am in demand, but like, but at the time in February, like I was going through some personal issues, which
please tell us everything. I'm joking.
Which just let's just say the personal issues with like personal health and everything was going on. So
it's okay. I don't care that much. It's great. It's okay.
Oh well, thank you, sir.
Just passing off.
But yeah, so I couldn't sign up to it until then. But then I went to Pinewood. Short. Can't talk anymore. What the hell?
It's because we've been talking for an hour and 25 minutes.
I know.
So, you know.
So I went there, went for the whole shebang of like, the tour and everything, which is, I do recommend to any actor out there who's within the area of Pinewood, do go see that place. It really is mind blowing.
It's magical.
The amount of films that have been filmed there, you wouldn't even think were. It's
like Batman.
Yeah, Batman was there. Like, it was either the first Mission Impossible or it might have been the second one was filmed there.
I think it was the first.
A lot of the Harry Potter films were done there. It's like there's tons of stuff has been done there. Like, I think.
Oh, I got Maggie Smith done as well, didn't she?
I know.
Why?
I know.
Why? I just think of Hook as soon as I see her face.
I figure that I keep saying this. Like, I figure you don't think would pass away. You just think of them as being immortal, but then it's just like no, they're just as mortal as you.
It's okay because Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger are immortal. They're not going anywhere.
I know, right? But yeah, I was offered a place at Cannes. I couldn't go to it because of personal issues.
Next time, give it to me.
But yeah, definitely. But yeah, and
I don't care about your personal issues. I just want the ticket to Cannes,
And now that you said like about Cannes, I thought, okay, so it just fell in my lap anyway.
Well, I'm not paying for you, so
I know, but just the opportunity, I get to go there anyway.
Well, if we ever see the money from the Essex Boys tapes, I could probably potentially fund it. Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be an experience going to Cannes because
it would be. Yeah, it'd be an amazing experience. Okay, Tony, thank you very much for joining me on my very first podcast. I think we should cut it there because,
thank you very much for having me.
We're not that interesting, are we?
I know.
Okay, then.
We like to think we're interesting, but we're really not.
We're really not. No. Thanks for listening, Mom.
We're lucky to have viewers.
What viewers?
Have viewers, listeners.
We have viewers.
Someone.
We got people listen to us.
Anyway, thanks for listening to us. Thanks for having me on as well.
Okay, then let's be honest. No one's listened to the end anyway. We just say like at the beginning, thank you for whenever you check out.
Like, just please listen to us. We're very desperate.
Please, we're interesting. We have a Twitter account. Oh, sorry, X,
Twitter, whatever.
Instagram. Oh. Do you know what? This is a story to leave everyone with. So I was doing jiu-jitsu. I was taking the mick out of a younger guy who's like, oh, Facebook, and we went, well, see, that's where you go wrong. Our generation aren't even on Facebook. You don't even know what our generation is on. I'm like, what is it? He told me the platform's like, what the hell is that? To this day, I don't even remember what it is. I don't know. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Okay.
There's social media coming out every single day, it feels like. So
yeah, there is, isn't it? It's
like TikTok.
I know. It's like,
It's a new one. I can't remember another password. Give me a
and who picks these names anyway? Like TikTok, you just think clock, Threads, you think clothing shop. I know.
It's like, why?
You know, what are we doing next? Like a marketplace. Oh, there is a marketplace, isn't there?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Wardrobe doors.
Yeah.
That could be the next one.
Welcome
to www.wardrobedoors.com. Keeping your secrets in.
Just ridiculous stuff. The industry that we live in. The industry we're working in.
It's not the industry, it's the flipping world that we live in now. I mean, it's all just like, my kids know more about technology than me.
Like, honestly, it's the only thing that it's funny how we get to say, I'll follow you without it sounding creepy.
I know. It's like, I'll stalk you. I'll break into your house and watch you while you sleep. Anything to just normalize that, you know, like obsessing about people's lives and what they're eating and stuff, you know. Oh, dear. Okay. And with that, we will leave you. Thank you again for listening in, people.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Play.